What is up everyone, it is Sacred Saiyan here, welcoming you back to another video. Today we're going to be rebooting my first ever series on the channel, What If Goku is Born with God Ki. I'm rebooting this series because one day from now, it will be the 1 year anniversary of my channel, so it is fitting I reboot the series where it all began. And also, I feel like the idea itself really had a lot of potential story-wise, and I didn't really have the best story last time, so we're going to be starting from the beginning once again. If you end up liking today's video, then please consider subscribing. It is free and you can always unsubscribe later. Also, if you want to join my Discord server, then there is a link to that in the description of the video. You can talk to me and my community, grind for roles, hang out, and if you put your art in the art text channel and 10 people react with a star, it will get featured at the end of the video. Since it is an anniversary special, there's going to be a big like goal, so if you want to see another parts of this series, then get this video to 500 likes. And with all of that out of the way, let's get into today's episode of What If Goku is Born with God Ki. One fateful day, on planet Vegeta, the Saiyan baby Kakarot was born with a power level of 2. However, strangely, his hair would sometimes flicker red, and his power level would be undetectable by any scouter. The Saiyans would believe this to be a defect Kakarot has, giving more reason for him to remain a low-class Saiyan. However, his father Bardock believes it could be something more. He could become the legendary Super Saiyan. Frieza would still decide to wipe out all the Saiyans out of fear of this same legend, along with the legend of the Super Saiyan God. This would force Bardock and Gine to still send Kakarot to Earth. However, this is where there will be some changes. Kakarot would still be found by Grandpa Gohan, and he would still bump his head, further suppressing his godly power. However, the day before Goku in canon would become an Uzara and kill Grandpa Gohan, Goku and Grandpa Gohan would get an unexpected visitor. This visitor would be Kami, and he would ask to have a private conversation with Grandpa Gohan. The old man would happily agree to this, and he would tell Goku to wait inside as he exits his home, and he talks to the Guardian of the Earth. Kami would introduce himself as the Guardian of the Earth, and he would then go on to say that the child inside the old man's home is indeed an alien. Not only that, but Kami can sense he has something known as God Ki inside of him. He sensed the boy when he first arrived on Earth. However, he decided to watch the boy's progression until now, and Kami says the boy must come with him to learn to control his latent power. Gohan would look back at his home, seeing Goku through the window, and he tells Kami that he is capable of raising the child. Kami says that he isn't questioning that at all. However, if the child accidentally had an outburst with that godly power inside of him, not only would Gohan die, but so would everyone on the planet. Grandpa Gohan would look back at his house once again, with tears in his eyes, and he would say very well. However, he must be allowed to visit Goku from time to time. The old god would agree to this request, and then Gohan would call for Goku to come outside, then telling Goku that he will be staying with this nice man from now on. But Gohan will visit him as often as he can. That's a promise. Goku would look to Kami and back to Grandpa Gohan, the child crying and saying he doesn't want to leave, but Gohan comforts the boy, saying it will be okay. They will see each other soon. Goku, still having tears in his eyes, would reluctantly walk over to Kami, and Kami would tell Gohan that he will contact him soon. Kami would then take Goku to the lookout, and their training would commence. Goku would first train under Mr. Popo, and after some years, he would surpass his teacher, and he would then begin training under Kami. Gohan would also be making weekly visits to the lookout, sparring with Goku when he does, and just talking to Goku about how he is doing. And on one of these visits, Goku would accidentally access Super Saiyan God for a brief moment, and even though Gohan couldn't sense his power, Kami could, and it was astronomical. Kami would train Goku to access his power once again, and he would teach Goku to control it, knowing that if King Piccolo was to ever return, Goku would be able to beat him with ease. However, that day may never come. You may be wondering about Bulma's journey to gather the Dragon Balls on Earth. Well, when she arrives at Mount Paozu, Gohan would decide to accompany her on her journey, because he thinks he will have a great story to tell Goku when he visits him once again. This would lead to all the fight where Goku struggled in canon being dealt with easily by Gohan, and it would be much easier to gather all the Dragon Balls, and Bulma would wish for a lifetime supply of strawberries. We now skip a significant amount of time into the future, since King Piccolo was never freed from his seal, meaning there would also be no Piccolo Jr., so we head all the way to the Saiyan Saga, where Goku's brother Raditz arrives on Earth. Raditz's scouter would quickly detect Goku's suppressed power level of 2000, and Raditz would fly towards the lookout where Goku is currently training. After arriving, Raditz would see Goku, and he would tell Goku that he is his brother, and they are both Saiyans. Goku, remaining completely calm, would ask Raditz if that is all he wants to say, and Raditz would look confused, but he would continue. Raditz would tell Goku that he needs to come with him to help him along with Vegeta and Nappa take over a planet. Goku would tell Raditz he would never use his power to enslave others, and if Raditz doesn't leave his planet immediately, he will die. Raditz grits his teeth, and he shouts at Goku, saying just because he is a bit stronger than him, that doesn't mean he'll be able to even stand a chance against Vegeta or Nappa, and if Goku doesn't come with him, then they will come here and kill him themselves. Goku smirks, saying he would like to see them try and kill him, and if they kill anyone else on Earth, he'll just use the Dragon Balls to revive them. They can grant any wish after all. Raditz looks shocked for a second, but then he begins to laugh. His scouter was recording their entire conversation, and now Nappa and Vegeta know all about the Dragon Balls. Goku would then shoot a small ki blast, breaking Raditz's scouter, and he then slowly walks towards the Saiyan. Goku gives Raditz one more chance to leave, but Raditz would try to hit Goku, catching his punch and then kicking Raditz in the stomach, sending the Saiyan flying. Raditz would get annoyed, shooting a double Sunday at Goku, but Goku would respond by firing a Kamehameha, a technique he learned from Grandpa Gohan. Goku's beam would swiftly overpower Raditz's double Sunday, and Raditz would then be hit by the blast and would fall to his knees, extremely injured and on the verge of death. Goku would walk up to Raditz, and Raditz would cough out blood, painfully laughing as he says Vegeta and Nappa will be here in a year to avenge him, and make a wish on the Dragon Balls. Raditz would then die, and Goku would look back to Kami, asking what the plan is. Kami says he doesn't know how strong the other two Saiyans may be, so they must not take any chances. Goku agrees, asking what Kami suggests he does, and Kami says it is about time he trains under a god even above himself. Goku looks intrigued, and then Kami puts his arm on Goku's shoulder, teleporting himself and Goku to King Yama's office. Kami would then request for Goku to train under King Kai, and King Yama would be reluctant at first. However, after he senses Goku as God Ki, he would quickly accept, and send Goku on his way. With Goku's unsuppressed base power level of 20,000, he would make it to King Kai's planet in under a day. Goku would then train under the Kai for an entire year, and he would get insane gains. In canon, Goku went from a power level of around 416 to a power level of over 8,000 in a matter of months of training on King Kai's planet. That is nearly a 20 times increase in that short period of time. However, with Goku spending an entire year instead of a couple of months, we can estimate his increase in power here to be over 115 times, thus going from a power level of 20,000 all the way to 2.3 million. That already puts Goku in base form above third form Frieza. Goku would then head back to Earth, just as Nappa and Vegeta arrive on the planet. And we're going to end off here. Nappa and Vegeta arrive on Earth, their pods landing in a city which they quickly explode to get the attention of Goku. Goku would flare his ki, and the scouters of Nappa and Vegeta would go off and detect a power level of 4,000. The two Saiyans would fly over to this power, and they would arrive in a wasteland, coming face to face with Goku at last. Vegeta would give Goku one last chance to join them, as his power is comparable to Nappa's and could be useful. Goku smirks, appearing behind Nappa, and with a single chop to his neck, he knocks the Saiyan out. Vegeta laughs, saying Goku has been hiding his power it seems. No matter, his power will be nothing compared to his own. Goku smirks, stating that Vegeta's arrogance will be his downfall. And just so Vegeta knows, he will have no impact on this world. Everyone Vegeta has mercilessly killed on this planet will be revived with the Dragon Balls. Vegeta says that it isn't arrogance, it is superiority. And then the prince rushes towards Goku, trying to land a kick on his jaw, but Goku catches his leg and throws him to the ground. Goku begins stretching, as Vegeta jumps off the ground and he shoots a flurry of ki blasts at Goku, Goku smacking them all away with ease, and then rushing towards Vegeta and landing a devastating blow to his stomach that sends him flying. Goku tells Vegeta to give up. He isn't even close to full power right now. Vegeta gets enraged, flying into the sky as he begins to power up a Gallic gun. He doesn't care if Goku is stronger than him. Goku and his planet will be turned into space dust. Goku is completely unfazed by this remark, and he begins to power up a beam of his own, a Kamehameha. The two Saiyans fire their beams, however even with Goku being suppressed, his beam still has more power than Vegeta's, and his beam swiftly overpowers Vegeta's, and it would heavily injure the Saiyan. Goku would tell Vegeta to leave his planet before he changes his mind, but Vegeta laughs, saying Goku is a fool. Vegeta then throws a white ball of energy into the sky, and he shouts, "Burst open and mix!" Goku is confused, as he watches Vegeta transform into a giant Oozaru, multiplying Vegeta's power by 10 times. Vegeta, still laughing, attempts to stomp on Goku. However, Goku just raises one arm, stopping the Oozaru's foot, and with his other hand, he then punches the Oozaru, sending Vegeta up into the sky, where Goku then appears and slams him back into the ground. Goku then looks at Vegeta's tail, realising that is how Vegeta transformed, so he grabs the Saiyan's tail with one arm, while creating something very reminiscent of a Destructo disc in the other. Goku would then throw the disc of Ki, cutting off Vegeta's tail, and the Oozaru would scream in pain as he reverts to his humanoid form. Vegeta can barely move, but he calls for his and Nappa's space pods, slowly crawling towards them. Goku throws the unconscious body of Nappa in one pod, while Vegeta helplessly crawls into the other. Goku looks at Vegeta through the space pod, and he says if he ever sees Vegeta on his planet again, he will die. Vegeta and Nappa's pods then fly into space, and Vegeta faintly mutters the words, "Super Saiyan," before passing out. Goku then flies over to the lookout, informing Kami of his victory, and now they need to gather the Dragon Balls in order to revive everyone the Saiyans killed. However, Goku is cut off by King Kai from Otherworld, who has very bad news. The tyrannical emperor of the universe, Frieza, heard about the Dragon Ball through Vegeta's scouter, and is currently on his way to Namek, a planet that supposedly also has Dragon Balls. Goku has no knowledge of who Frieza is, but he assures King Kai he will be able to deal with him. However, King Kai says that is unlikely, seeing as even if Goku is stronger than a couple of Frieza's forms, Frieza still has forms stronger than Goku, even if he goes Kaioken times 20. Goku looks to Kami, and he smirks as he tells King Kai that he is something else which is quite a bit stronger than Kaioken. He will deal with this Frieza before he gets a wish on Namek's Dragon Balls. King Kai wishes the student luck, as their communication ends, and Goku asks Kami if there is a way for him to get to Namek. Kami would say yes, leading Goku to his old ship, however it is in need of repair. They can use Goku's old space pod to help with this, however they would need someone with the ability to repair it. Goku then remembers that Grandpa Gohan once mentioned an incredibly smart engineer that he once met on an adventure to gather the Dragon Balls with. Not only could they repair the ship, they also supposedly had a machine which could track the Dragon Balls, which they could use. Kami would say this is a great idea, so Goku heads down to Mount Palzu where he is greeted by Grandpa Gohan. Goku asks for the location of the engineer Grandpa Gohan had mentioned in his story all those years ago, and Grandpa Gohan says their name is Bulma, and they live in Capsule Corp. However, Bulma is far more than just an engineer. Goku thanks Grandpa Gohan, saying they will speak soon, and then Goku rockets towards Capsule Corp. After arriving, he heads to the receptionist area, and he requests to speak to Bulma. He tells the receptionist to mention he is a friend of Grandpa Gohan. The receptionist would do so, and shortly after, Goku would be called into Bulma's lab. Goku would introduce himself, and Bulma would smile after hearing his name. She remembers how much Gohan spoke of Goku during their journey. Goku would then ask Bulma if he is able to use the Dragon Radar, and also if Bulma could repair a spaceship. Bulma would look intrigued, saying yes to both questions, and Goku would say that is great, then asking if Bulma would like to see the ship she needs to repair. Bulma says sure. So the two walk outside, and then Goku swoops Bulma off her feet, holding her in his arms as he flies to the lookout. Bulma is mesmerised by the view when Goku is carrying her, and she begins to have some affection for Goku. However, that isn't important right now, as they arrive on the lookout and Bulma examines Kami's ship, along with Goku's space pod. Bulma says she should be able to repair the ship, however it will also need a pilot which she volunteers to be. Goku and Kami would both agree to this. So after Bulma finishes the repairs, she pilots a ship with Goku inside towards Namek. Since Goku won't be gravity training, his power remains at 2.3 million, and he just does mental training on their way to Namek. Goku and Bulma arrive on Namek at the same time when Gohan, Krillin and Bulma arrive in canon. meaning Frieza's forces are already on Namek and collecting the Dragon Balls. Vegeta would also arrive on Namek, this time with Nappa accompanying him, since he didn't die in this version of events. Vegeta being at the same power level as his canon counterpart, while Nappa wasn't as damaged as Vegeta, meaning he only gets to a power level of 6000. Vegeta and Nappa would face off against Kui, easily defeating him, and we head back over to Goku, who is watching as Frieza, Zarbon and Dodoria interrogate a Namekian village. Goku decides to not take on Frieza straight away, wanting to gauge Frieza's full power before he does, so he quickly jumps in front of the Namekian villagers, and he shoots a flurry of small ki blasts, breaking all the Frieza Force scouters. Goku then punches the ground, creating a smoke screen, and all the Namekians run away. Goku would then fly away, but Dodoria follows him, and they have an encounter. And since Frieza is still anxious about Vegeta being on Namek, he sends Zarbon to deal with him just in case Kui couldn't do the job. This would mean Goku faces Dodoria, while Vegeta and Nappa face Zarbon. Goku would easily defeat Dodoria with no effort at all, however Vegeta and Nappa wouldn't be able to do the same with Zarbon. Vegeta and Nappa would be beating Zarbon until he uses his monster form, which he would utilise to brutally beat both Vegeta and Nappa, then taking them both back to Frieza's ship in order to heal them and get information. However, this would lead to Zarbon's demise after the two Saiyans are healed, along with Frieza losing all the Dragon Balls he has gathered, which greatly enrages the Space Emperor. Goku would eventually cross paths with Vegeta and Nappa, the three ready to face each other, but this is when the Ginyu Force arrives. Vegeta and Nappa take on Goldo, while Goku takes on the rest of the Ginyu Force, including Captain Ginyu himself. Jeice and Berta would be the first to attack Goku, trying to land dual kicks on the Saiyan, however Goku would block both of their kicks, and with one powerful ki blast each, Goku would kill the pair. Raccoon would be next to try and face the Saiyan, however with a single punch through Raccoon's stomach, he would also fall. Captain Ginyu would be shocked, but he would then begin to slowly clap, commending Goku's power and offering him a spot in the mighty Ginyu Force. Goku would chuckle, saying it isn't much of a force anymore, seeing as Ginyu is the only one left other than Goldo over there who looks like he is about to die as well. Ginyu laughed, saying he supposes Goku is right, but that doesn't matter. He will avenge his crew here and now. Goku smirks, simply saying no, and then, with his glare alone, he kills the captain of the Ginyu Force. At the same time, Vegeta and Nappa kill Goldo, and they look over to Goku, seeing he has taken out the rest of the Ginyu Force. Both Vegeta and Nappa look in amazement at Goku, however their faces quickly turn from amazement to horror, as Goku turns around and Frieza is standing there, chuckling to himself. Frieza then outstretches a single finger, firing a death beam which pierces through Vegeta's chest. Frieza then smirks, asking who's next. Frieza has just killed Vegeta, and begins to laugh maniacally. These monkeys are nothing compared to himself. Goku is shocked at the mercilessness of Frieza more than anything. However, someone else has a much greater reaction. Nappa is enraged, and he begins to slam the ground repeatedly. He begins getting flashbacks of looking after Vegeta when he was a child, and other flashbacks of him and Vegeta fighting alongside each other. Nappa then gets one final flashback of when they found out Planet Vegeta was destroyed, and Nappa promised to himself that he would protect Vegeta until his dying breath. Nappa begins to scream out of pure rage as his aura bursts with a blinding golden light. Nappa's facial hair also turns golden, and Nappa has now become a Super Saiyan. Goku is intrigued with this form, seeing how it is even stronger than Kaioken times 20, and it may be useful to learn, as he might be able to combine it with his redhead form. Nappa, using Super Saiyan, is able to absolutely body First Form Frieza because of the Zenkai he received from his battle with Zarbon. However, this would lead to Frieza transforming into a second form, which Nappa couldn't hope to combat. Frieza would begin to brutally beat on Nappa, until Goku in base form stands in front of Nappa and catches an attack from Frieza, then bitch slapping their Space Emperor into a mountain. Goku then hands Nappa the Dragon Radar, and he tells Nappa to gather the remaining Dragon Balls, and to wait on him before making a wish. He will deal with Frieza himself. Nappa nods, flying away, and Frieza arrives back on the battlefield, now being in his third form. This makes the fight a lot more even between Goku and Frieza, however Goku does still have a bit of an edge, And after Goku kicks Frieza into the ground, Frieza decides he has had enough, and he transforms into his final form. Frieza commends Goku on his power, however he is still no match for the likes of himself. Goku can't help but let out a small laugh as he tells Frieza that he has no idea how strong he truly is. Frieza chuckles, asking is that so? Well then, why doesn't the monkey show his true power? Goku smirks, saying very well, as he is coated in a fiery red aura, and once it fades, he is now using Super Saiyan God. This form multiplies Goku's base power level of 2.3 million, and there is no point even saying Goku's power level, as Frieza is an ant in comparison. Since Frieza couldn't sense ki in the first place, he wouldn't realise Goku's ki is now undetectable, so he isn't certain how strong Goku is. Nevertheless, he is terrified, as he believes the form Nappa used was a Super Saiyan, which means the form Goku is using now can only be the Super Saiyan God. Goku looks confused when Frieza says Super Saiyan God, and then Goku guesses that is what his red-haired form is called. He guesses it makes sense since it is using God Ki, but that isn't really important right now. Frieza powers up to 100%, and he then rushes at Goku, trying to land a punch on his face, however Goku just takes the punch head on, being completely unfazed. Goku then breaks Frieza's arm, and he then flicks Frieza on the head, sending him crashing into the ground and on the verge of death. Frieza, in a final attempt to win the battle, would then begin the destruction of Namek, and he would begin to laugh, coughing out blood as he does. Kami would then telepathically tell Goku he is going to revive everyone killed on Namek by Frieza and his forces, and then bring everyone to Earth. However, Goku tells Kami to not teleport himself or Frieza. He must make sure Frieza is completely erased, so he must stay to make sure he doesn't survive. Kami would reluctantly agree, so people like Vegeta arrived and then teleported to Earth, while Goku stares at the defeated Frieza on the ground. Frieza would beg Goku for mercy, but then Goku shouts back, asking how many people begged Frieza for mercy, and he killed them anyway. Goku here wouldn't give Frieza any energy, and Frieza realises his manipulation is failing, so he uses his remaining energy to throw one final attack at Goku, but Goku smacks the attack away, and with a final Kamehameha, he ends Frieza, once and for all. Goku would then find a ship to get off Namek before it blows up, and he would arrive on Yardrat where he would train for 1 year. Since he doesn't need to perfect a transformation like Goku in canon, he is able to not only learn instant transmission on Yardrat, but he also learns spirit control, which gives him multiple abilities including cloning, force spirit fission, and size manipulation, just to list a few. Goku would head back to Earth after this year, however since he actually killed Frieza on Namek, neither Frieza or King Cold go to Earth, and there is no future Trunks to greet Goku. The reason for this I will explain now. Bulma has been waiting for Goku to come back on Earth, and because of her prior affection for Goku, her and Vegeta would never get together. Instead, Goku and Bulma would get together, and instead of Trunks being born, Bulma gives birth to a purple-haired child, which they decide to name Gohan. This being because Bulma was actually fond of Grandpa Gohan, and Goku wants to honour his adopted father, which would have unfortunately died of old age before the androids arrive. Speaking of the android saga, Goku here never gets the heart virus. See, I think most people realise Goku did not get the heart virus from Yardrat, as there was a common medicine for it in the future timeline, meaning it must have been a common thing in the future. This leads me to believe Goku would have gained the heart virus from his childhood, where he lived in the forest alone, touching and eating animals which could very easily have been diseased, and gave Goku the heart virus. You are free to disagree with me in the comments, but this is what I personally believe. And since Goku never had those circumstances in this timeline, he never gets the heart virus, meaning we follow the events of the future timeline, where Android 17 and Android 18 are the only two androids, and attack the city. During the time before the androids arrive, Vegeta, with the help of Nappa, unlocks Super Saiyan, and with the two Saiyans then training with Goku for the remaining time before the androids' arrival, Goku is also able to unlock Super Saiyan, while Nappa and Vegeta are both comparable to the androids. This being because, like in canon, Gero didn't see any of the events of Namek or beyond, meaning he would still have no knowledge of Super Saiyan, or even Super Saiyan God. You may say that since Goku used Super Saiyan God on Kami's lookout before Namek, Gero would know of its existence, However, Jiro wouldn't have even known of Goku's existence until the Saiyan saga, where Goku doesn't use Super Saiyan God, so he wouldn't have knowledge of it. Android 17 and Android 18 would be attacking the city when Vegeta, Nappa and Goku arrive. Vegeta and Nappa would both be coated in a golden aura as they transform into Super Saiyans, and they would battle against the two androids while Goku watches on the sidelines. Even with Vegeta and Nappa being comparable to the androids in terms of power, the androids would still have infinite energy, which gives them the advantage in the battle, and they would eventually wear the Saiyan Jiro down. However, Goku would then step in, and after transforming into Super Saiyan God, he would wipe out both the androids with ease. Vegeta and Nappa thank Goku for his help, however they don't want to always rely on Goku to save them, which then gives Goku the idea to train with them both in the hyperbolic time chamber. They wouldn't be able to train for an entire year since there wouldn't be enough food, however since there is no looming threat, that doesn't really matter. Speaking of looming threats, deep in Jiro's sublab, Cell is still untouched, and the DNA robots are still gathering DNA. However, Cell won't be awoken anytime soon anyway, so that doesn't matter for now. After a couple of months of training, all the Saiyans leave the time chamber, and they all have access to Super Saiyan Grade 4. And now, while Vegeta and Nappa seek to further Super Saiyan, Goku will now attempt to combine Super Saiyan with his God form. However, we're going to leave off here. We now skip many years since the last video ended. Vegeta and Nappa have both achieved Super Saiyan 2, while Goku has successfully combined Super Saiyan with Super Saiyan God. Goku has also been training his son Gohan during this time, and he quickly saw the great potential in his son, believing that one day, Gohan will even surpass himself. You may be wondering why Vegeta and Nappa haven't achieved Super Saiyan God in this time. Well, allow me to explain. Goku isn't a teacher like Whis, and he himself doesn't know how his God Ki works, so he wouldn't know how to help Vegeta and Nappa utilise it. Nappa and Vegeta have gotten God Ki from their training with Goku, however they just aren't able to access Super Saiyan God. And since Goku focused most of the time skip on training his son Gohan, he trained less with Vegeta and Nappa, meaning there would be even less of a chance for them to achieve Super Saiyan God. With that explanation out of the way, let's continue the what if. There's a World Martial Arts tournament happening in a couple of days, and the Saiyans decide this would be a great way to test their strength, so they all enter. Gohan would even enter the Kiss division, however he would have nobody who can compete with him in the slightest, so he would easily win that. Nappa takes Canon Gohan's spot in the tournament, while some other humans replace the other Z fighters' positions, meaning Nappa would be the one to face Kibito and power up to Super Saiyan 2. However, since this Nappa has a God-infused base thanks to his training with Goku, his power is far greater than Gohan's in canon. So strong that Shin isn't even able to restrain him for even a second. So when Spopovich and Yamo attempt to steal Nappa's energy, Nappa just bursts his aura and sends the two Majin servants into the stands. The two servants then being terrified of Nappa's power and flying away, heading to Bobbly's ship without any energy. Shin and Kibito would quickly explain the situation to the Saiyans, and they would all then chase after the two Majin servants, arriving as Bobbly kills the pair. Deborah would then surprise attack the fighters, attempting to fire a blast at Kibito. However, Vegeta would put his hand in front of Kibito, taking the blast head on and being completely unfazed. This being when Vegeta is only in his base form. Deborah would then be teleported inside Bobbly's ship, and all the fighters would enter the ship shortly after. Goku, Vegeta and Nappa would play rock paper scissors to decide their battles, and after Goku and Vegeta easily defeat their opponents, it is time for Nappa to face Deborah. However, this battle is extremely underwhelming, as Nappa in base form is stronger than Deborah thanks to having God Ki, but Nappa would instantly transform into Super Saiyan 2, and he would kill Deborah with a single attack. Bobbly would begin to panic, trying to take control of one of the Saiyans, however this plan would fail. Vegeta and Nappa are both satisfied with being weaker than Goku, and seeking greater power in their own unique way. And Goku is as pure as they get, so Bobbly has no chance at controlling him. In the end, Bobbly would be found, and would be killed, meaning Majin Buu's awakening was prevented. Supreme Kai would thank the Saiyans, and he would even offer that they can train on his world. Goku would deny this offer, seeing as he is already working on striving for a greater power, and Nappa would also refuse, because he sees the gods as being so weak that their training couldn't be beneficial. However, one person would take up their offer, that being Vegeta. Vegeta would have multiple reasons for accepting this offer. One reason being that Goku trained under gods who were weaker than the Supreme Kai and gained massive amounts of strength, and it is possible he can do the same. He also believes that training under the Kais could be his unique way of growing stronger, and maybe he will be able to learn some techniques that finally close the gap between himself and Kakarot. So, after Vegeta and the Kai say goodbye to Nappa and Goku, they head back to the world of the Kais along with Buu's egg, which the Kais will make sure is protected until the end of time. Vegeta would first learn all the techniques the Kais have to offer, including the Kai, healing, the ability to create matter out of nothing, and more. However, after learning these techniques, the Supreme Kai would then bring Vegeta to the Z-Sword to see if he is able to lift it. Vegeta would lift it with ease, and after training with it for a short time, they would test the durability of the Z-Sword, this inevitably leading to the Z-Sword snapping in half, and the Elder Kai being released. As a thank you for releasing the Elder Kai, Vegeta's potential would be unlocked, and Vegeta is amazed at his newfound power. Vegeta has already gotten a lot stronger from his training with the Kais, but now he has his godly potential unlocked. Vegeta would thank the Kais, and he would then say he will return to continue his training soon. But it is finally time he fights Goku one-on-one. Vegeta then uses the Kai to teleport to Goku, who is currently training Gohan. Goku looks at Vegeta, and he already knows what he wants from his facial expression alone. Goku would simply nod, and he would then tell Gohan to wait there, as Goku and Vegeta then fly off to the wasteland where they had their first encounter, and the two would then have the battle of the ages. The two would rush at each other, and they are equal while fighting in base, and Goku would then transform into Super Saiyan God, thinking the battle was already won. But Vegeta would then transform into Ultimate, and Goku would be shocked as Vegeta actually overpowers him. Vegeta would tell Goku to take this fight seriously and go all out, so Goku does, utilising Super Saiyan Blue to combat Vegeta. Just to clarify, Goku has perfected Super Saiyan Blue like in the manga, because of how long he has had access to the form. Vegeta and Goku would then begin to trade blows and clash fists. Vegeta truly is Goku's rival at last. However, Goku admits he still has one last trick up his sleeve. Vegeta would tell Goku to use it, and then Goku would activate Kaioken, only using ×2, since he doesn't need to use a larger multiplier to overpower Vegeta. Vegeta would push himself to the limit, utilising abilities he learned from the Kais to try and overwhelm Goku, teleporting around him and creating blocks of Cochin to attempt to distract Goku. However, Goku was simply too fast, and the two Saiyans would then rush each other, each of them landing a final punch to end the battle. Goku would tank Vegeta's punch with minor difficulty, while Vegeta would be knocked out by the attack. After Vegeta wakes up, Goku would outstretch his hand, and Vegeta would grab it, pulling himself up, and he would laugh, saying he is happy he pushed Goku so far. Goku would tell Vegeta that he is impressed at his growth, and without the Kaioken, they truly are equals. He can't wait to fight Vegeta again. Vegeta would nod, bidding Goku a farewell as he teleports back to the world of the Kais, and then Goku would smile as he then flies back to Gohan. You may think I'm leaving out Nappa, but don't worry, he isn't falling behind that easy. You guys may have not focused on this detail, but Nappa is the only Saiyan who still has his tail, and he is going to use that to his advantage. Nappa can't see any way to further his Super Saiyan transformations, so instead, he is going to attempt to somehow combine it with Grey Tape. He would go into the time chamber in order to not risk destroying the planet, and he would then transform into a mighty Uzaru, Nappa having perfect control over the transformation. But now is the hard part, where Nappa tries to transform into a Super Saiyan while being an Uzaru. At first, Nappa would be completely uncontrollable while in Golden Uzaru. However, after half a year passes, he would gain almost perfect control over it. In fact, after gaining such control over the Golden Uzaru, he would then find something even stronger. But we're going to leave things off here. So at the end of the last video, Nappa achieved a transformation which even surpasses Golden Grey Tape, and as you may have guessed, this transformation was Super Saiyan 4. The reason I gave Nappa this transformation is that Nappa is nearing the age where Saiyans rapidly grow old, and one perk of Super Saiyan 4 is that it puts a Saiyan in their prime when in the transformation. So even though Nappa is getting older, when in Super Saiyan 4 he gets his prime body. This means Nappa can still be a part of the fight. Nappa would spend the remaining 6 months in the time chamber perfecting Super Saiyan 4 as much as he can, but we have a time skip after that anyway, so Nappa easily achieves full power Super Saiyan 4 during this time. 4 years pass, and the God of Destruction Beerus awakes, still having the premonition of the Super Saiyan God, and this time when he asks Whis about the remaining Saiyans, Whis would mention that there are indeed not just one, but two Super Saiyan gods. One of them being a teenage half Saiyan, while the other being a fully adult Saiyan who defeated Frieza. Beerus would be happy that his premonition was correct, and the god and his angel would then make their journey to Earth, where it is Bulma's birthday party. Goku would be with his son and his wife when he senses an incredible power arrive on Earth. Nappa and Vegeta are at the party, and they sense this as well, quickly grouping up with Goku, and the three Saiyans approach Beerus and Whis. Vegeta remembers Beerus from his childhood, however with his ultimate power, he is not afraid of the Destroyer God. Beerus and Whis would introduce themselves, however Beerus says that Vegeta should already know who he is. Goku asks Beerus why he is on Earth, and Beerus simply says he is there to battle the Super Saiyan God. Goku would agree to this challenge, and he tells Nappa and Vegeta to stand back as he is coated in a fiery red aura, and he transformed into the form that Beerus was looking for, the Super Saiyan God. Beerus would smirk as the pair fly into the air, and they begin their match. They both quickly realise Beerus has the overwhelming advantage, however, Goku says he can go further than just Super Saiyan God. Beerus is intrigued, telling Goku to do it, and then Goku first transformed into perfected Super Saiyan Blue, and he then stacks Kaioken times 20 on top of it. Goku would then rush at Beerus, the god being impressed at Goku's speed, and only barely blocking a kick from Goku. Goku and Beerus would then begin to trade blows, and even though Beerus does need to exert quite a bit of power, he is still stronger than Goku. This is when Goku jumps up and he tells Beerus to wait for him to power up his strongest technique. Beerus again is intrigued, and he allows Goku to do this, so Goku begins to charge up a Spirit Bomb. Gathering energy from Nappa, Vegeta and his son Gohan, he creates a massive Spirit Bomb, and with all his might, he throws a large ball of ki at Beerus. Beerus is surprised at the strength of the attack, and he needs to use a lot of power to push it back. But even though it takes a lot of power, Beerus still manages it, and he pushes the Spirit Bomb back at Goku, hitting the Saiyan head on. The Spirit Bomb along with Goku then disappear, and Beerus just yawns, saying he expected more from his so-called rival. Gohan watched this all take place, and he has tears flowing down his face. Gohan first transformed into a Super Saiyan God, and then, with a scream of pure sadness and loss, he transforms into a Super Saiyan Blue. Nappa and Vegeta both have a shocked expression on their face, as Gohan then rushes towards Beerus, and he attempts to face the Destroyer God. However, he simply isn't as strong as Goku, so he isn't as strong as Beerus either. Beerus would simply chop the half Saiyan's neck, knocking him out. However, just after he does, the entire planet begins to shake. Beerus turns around, and he sees a giant beam of light appear, and out of that light, he sees Goku in Ultra Instinct Omen. Beerus is in awe that the Saiyan in front of him has accessed such a godly technique, and Whis simply smiles, seeing this as a pleasant surprise. Goku stares at Beerus, his eyes now being a piercing silver colour, and before anyone can even blink, Goku already appears behind Beerus and has landed a flurry of punches on the god, blowing the wind out of Beerus and leaving him shocked at Goku's power. Beerus then recollects himself and begins to use his full power as he attacks Goku once again, with Goku narrowly blocking and dodging some of his attacks. Goku would then begin to clash fists with Beerus, and the two warriors couldn't help but smile at how evenly matched they are. In the end, Goku would lose Ultra Instinct with his body giving out, and Beerus would land the final blow which incapacitates the Saiyan. This would lead to Goku being offered to train on Beerus' world after he wakes up, and Goku would accept this offer, also requesting that Nappa and Vegeta can train alongside him. Beerus would agree to this, as they can help Goku get stronger, and because of how close Beerus was to losing this fight, Beerus will actually begin training once again in this timeline, not wanting to be surpassed by Goku when he inevitably unlocks Ultra Instinct once again. We now head to Resurrection Earth, where Frieza is revived once again, and still only trains for 4 months. However, there is one big change here. King Cold was the one who finally found Earth and revived his son Frieza, and then trained alongside Frieza for those 4 months, making himself and Frieza a lot stronger. When the two arrive on Earth, along with their forces, we for the first time see some of the Earthling fighters Bulma met on her journey to gather the Dragon Balls. We see Master Roshi, his student Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha, all ready to try their best to defend the planet. However, luckily for them, one other person has arrived to help in the fight, that being Gohan, and he is going to try his best to hold the two Frost Demons off until his father arrives. The Earthling fighters would have far more trouble facing Frieza's soldiers, as they are much weaker than their canon selves, but with support from Gohan, the fodder are quickly defeated. However, this is when the real opponents step onto the battlefield, that being Frieza and King Cold. The Earthling fighters know they have no chance, so they don't even attempt to take on Frieza and King Cold, so Gohan is stood there, being the only one who can even hope to take them on. Gohan isn't going to mess around, so he quickly transformed into Super Saiyan God, and seeing this, King Cold and Frieza both power up to their new transformation. Frieza with his golden form, and King Cold with a form very reminiscent of Cooler's final form. This being because King Cold wouldn't want to be as flashy as Frieza. Gohan would realise that Super Saiyan God power wouldn't be enough to take on the two, so he transforms into Super Saiyan Blue, and the battle commences with the three. King Cold and Frieza surprisingly working together to combat Gohan, and overpowering the Half Saiyan with little difficulty. Luckily, Goku, Vegeta and Nappa arrive shortly after, and Goku tells Gohan to step back. They will take it from here. Frieza laughs as he tells his father that the Saiyan in the white clothing will be their only challenge. However, that laugh quickly turns from overconfident to nervous as he watches Vegeta power up to Ultimate and Nappa power up to full power Super Saiyan 4. Goku tells Nappa and Vegeta that he will let them fight Frieza and King Cold. He already killed Frieza once, and he will let them have that luxury as well. So the two Saiyans then clash with the two Frost Demons, and they overpower the Frost Demons, even though they are even stronger than their canon selves. In the end, Vegeta and Nappa both finish off King Cold and Frieza in unison, and after Goku makes sure Gohan is okay, the three Saiyans head back to Beerus' world to continue their training, and when they do, they get an unexpected visitor from another universe. Champa and Velos have arrived in Universe 7, on Beerus' planet, and they wish to speak to Beerus about the Super Dragon Balls and a tournament to claim them. Beerus would agree to this tournament because he knows he already has 3 strong warriors training on his world and a 4th one on Earth, so the tournament is set up. Monaka isn't needed to motivate Goku because Goku has already seen Beerus at full power, and he strives to unlock Ultra Instinct once again, while Vegeta and Nappa are motivated by the strength of Goku. The team for Universe 6 remains the same, while the team for Universe 7 consists of Goku, Vegeta, Nappa and Gohan. Beerus is so confident in his team that he doesn't even look for another warrior to join the team. Vegeta and Nappa would train in the time chamber for 1.5 days, while Goku takes Gohan into the time chamber for the other day and a half before the tournament, wanting to help Gohan tap into more of his hidden potential. We now head to the tournament, which begins with Goku facing Botamo, and using his stretchy skin to his advantage and knocking him out of the ring. Frost would then step into the ring and attempt to face Goku while keeping his facade of being good. However, Goku sees right through it and makes sure to avoid all of Frost's attacks. While doing this, Goku spots the poison needle on Frost's wrist, and he then grabs Frost's arm, breaking it, and while Frost screams in agony, Goku raises Frost's broken arm into the sky and reveals the poison needle to everyone, getting Frost disqualified, and Goku moves on to the next round where he faces off against the Metal Man Vegeta. Vegeta's tough skin would be troublesome for Goku's base form, however, Goku would eventually discover Vegeta's weakness, and after doing so, he would defeat the Metal Man, and it would be time for him to face Kaba. However, Vegeta tells Goku to step aside, as he wants to face Kaba himself. Goku would allow this, so Vegeta would face Kaba, helping him unlock Super Saiyan before knocking him out of the ring. It is then time for the final fight, where Vegeta faces off against Hit. Vegeta would activate Ultimate, and he is simply too fast for Hit. Hit doesn't even get a chance to increase his time skip, because Vegeta is so fast that he just blitzes Hit and knocks him out of the ring almost instantly. Universe 7 are crowned the winners of the tournament, and Zeno would arrive shortly after, but wouldn't become friends with Goku, since Goku is more knowledgeable of the God hierarchy, and is much smarter than his canon self, meaning there is no promise of the Tournament of Power. However, Zeno does mention the idea. Zamasu never enacts a Zero Mortal plan because no time travel took place, and since Goku was born with God Ki, Zamasu saw him as not imitating the gods, but actually being one. So, you may think we now head to the Tournament of Power. However, one villain awakes before the time of when the tournament happens in canon. Deep in Jiro's sublab, Cell has finally been released from his test tube in his imperfect form. All the data collected sped up the process of him being released, along with him being much stronger. Cell has the DNA of every strong fighter. Ultra Instinct Omen Goku, Ultimate Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 Nappa, Super Saiyan Blue Gohan, Golden Frieza, 5th Form King Cold, and even Beerus and Champa. Luckily, the DNA robots didn't take the DNA of Whis and Vados, however Cell is still extremely powerful, even in his imperfect form, and since the androids were already destroyed, that means he won't be able to reach his semi-perfect or perfect form. However, Cell thinks he is strong enough to take on all the fighters now anyway, and maybe he will get a challenge, which he really wants. Cell exits Jiro's lab, and he stands on top of the mountain that the lab resided in. Cell then looks over a nearby city, and with a glare, not only the city, but a quarter of the world is turned into a wasteland. On Beerus world, Goku, Vegeta and Nappa are completely clueless as to what's happening, so Gohan arrives in front of Cell, ready to take him on and hopefully get the attention of his father on Beerus world. Gohan powers up into Super Saiyan God, and Cell smirks. This child is just a bug, which will be squashed underneath his boot. Gohan would then rush towards Cell, and he would try to attack the bio-android with everything he's got, but Cell avoids every attack while laughing at the weakling's attempt at attacking him. Cell would then use his tail to smack Gohan into the ground, and just before he powers up a Big Bang attack to fire at the Half Saiyan, Goku, Vegeta and Nappa arrive. They sense Gohan power up, and they sense Cell's suppressed power as well, so they use instant transmission to get there as quickly as possible. Beerus and Whis are also on their way. They decided Whis would bring them to Earth, as Beerus wants to see if the Saiyans can deal with the mess before he arrives. Cell grins, saying the Destroyer's a fool if he doesn't take him seriously. He does have the DNA of Beerus and his brother Champa, along with all the other strong fighters after all. Vegeta and Nappa look worried, but Goku powers up to Blue Kaioken, and he tells Nappa and Vegeta to go full power as well. They won't be able to defeat Cell otherwise. Nappa and Vegeta do so, powering up, and even Gohan flies back up, now being in Super Saiyan Blue. Cell chuckles, saying this is going to be fun, as the fighters all rush at Cell. Cell having trouble to keep up with all of them in his suppressed state, so he quickly powers up to match them. Goku and Vegeta then jump back, Goku beginning to power up a full power Kamehameha, while Vegeta powers up a final flash. This leaves Nappa and Gohan to take Cell on alone, and Gohan, even though being strong, simply can't keep up in the battle, and he gets knocked away, while Nappa continues to combat Cell, trying to give Goku and Vegeta all the time they need. Cell has the overwhelming advantage on Nappa, and he isn't even close to using full power yet, but as he beats down Nappa, Nappa begins to block more and more punches, with Nappa's punches also having more of an impact. Nappa is breaking his limits while fighting Cell, and it seems he's finally able to use God Ki alongside Super Saiyan 4. Cell forces Nappa to unlock Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4, and he has closed the gap between himself and this suppressed Cell, but he knows Cell isn't even trying against him, and can easily power up to overpower him once again. So Nappa gets behind Cell, putting him in a full Nelson, as he shouts for Goku and Vegeta to fire their attacks. Goku and Vegeta shout full power as they fire their attacks, and Cell powers up to brace himself for the impact of the final Kamehameha. After the dust clears, Cell only has a few scratches, and he then elbows Nappa in the chest, making the brute let him go, and he then grabs Nappa, throwing him to Goku and Vegeta, who catch him mid-air. Cell then shoots two death beams, one piercing Vegeta's chest, while the other pierces Nappa's. The two Saiyans' bodies then crashing into the ground. Cell just wants to fight Goku now. Goku grunts, dashing towards Cell as he tries his hardest to push back the bio-android. However, he knows his power now won't be enough. He needs to access Ultra Instinct once again. It is the only way. He accessed it for a short moment again when he trained in the time chamber with Gohan, however it faded just as quickly as he accessed it. He just needs to control that power. Cell beats Goku out of Blue Kaioken, and Goku begins to think of his friends and family calling out for him. Cell then attempts to land the final blow on Goku, but Goku dodges it. He has accessed Ultra Instinct Omen once again, and just as he does, Beerus and Whis arrive. Ultra Instinct Goku then begins a clash fist with Cell. Cell being happy he's finally getting to see Goku's true power, but Cell is just warming up. Cell bursts his aura, sending Goku back, and Cell powers up even more. Beerus realizes Goku can't do this alone, so he joins in on the fight. Beerus and Goku work together to attack Cell, trying to synchronize their attacks to deal maximum damage, and with the two fighting together, they seem to actually impress Cell, but they know Goku's power is fleeting, and eventually, Goku is knocked away, leaving Beerus to attempt to combat Cell alone. But then, Goku returns to the fight, now being in Mastered Ultra Instinct. Beerus is in awe at the power on display, and he realizes he will just gain Goku's way now, so he goes to get Whis to heal himself and all the injured fighters, while Goku takes on Cell alone. Cell finally unleashes his full power, and him and Goku seem to be practically evenly matched. This is when Cell pulls out his trump card as he powers up Hakai energy in his hand, while trying to hold back Goku. Cell then pushes his hand in front of Goku's face, shouting Hakai, but just as he does this, Goku uses a one-handed Kamehameha to destroy every atom of Cell, killing the bio-android. Beerus gives a sigh of relief, thinking Cell didn't use a Hakai in time, but then, he sees Goku slowly fading away. Goku smiles at Beerus, and he then looks down at the ground, seeing an injured Gohan looking up at him. Gohan screams no, as Goku says bye son, and he is gone. Gohan is in tears, as he vows he will become even stronger than his father, and he will bring Goku back. Vegeta and Nappa look somber, as they look up into the sky, and they say, "We will see you soon, friend." Hopefully you guys enjoyed this series, and if you did, then make sure to like, comment, and please do subscribe. It is quick and easy to do. Also, I want to give a huge thank you to Yeti Myth and Hype for becoming channel members. If you want to be shouted out at the end of a video, and get other perks like Yeti Myth and Hype here, then there is a link in the description down below to become a channel member. It greatly supports me, and it helps me immensely. With all of that out of the way, comment down below a series you would like to see me do next, and yeah, goodbye guys.